Yeah, starting to feel a little bit better. I mean, I still have like a cough, I guess. And I was so stupid and forgot to take Mucinex last night. So like 4 o'clock in the morning, I just wake up like coughing with like this weird tickle in my throat and stuff. Oh, it was awful. So yeah, my low is the fact that I didn't really get that good of a night's sleep, and now I've got a late start to my day. But on the positive side, you know, yesterday was still a really nice day. I was able to, go out and have a nice day. I mean, it didn't have to be like the greatest day in the world. In fact, I can tell you right now, another part of my low, the low could actually be spelled in 4 letters. Cold. Very, very cold. Like, at one point it got to like -4. That is not good. I mean, I guess I can smile knowing that we made it pretty far into winter. Essentially, we're a month into winter at this point. And only now did it really get to that cold winter weather that really no one likes. Like, at all. So, that's actually pretty good, actually. We have all of February to go. And then I think the weekend that Rita's opens, like, we're essentially going to be in the clear. If we can just make it to when Rita's opens, we got this. It actually should be about, let's see, last week would be the last week in January, so there's that. All of February. So, yeah, maybe just a little over a month from now. Okay, sure, why not? But, in the end, I had a nice evening with my parents. We had Chinese food for dinner last night from Shanghai Express. Highly recommend. We both my parents and I got the General Tso's chicken. I got mine with white rice. They split it, and they got theirs with fried rice. I'm more of a white rice kind of guy. I just am. Plus, I find it easier when I use chopsticks. Oh, yeah. I've actually been really seriously, like, if I ever get, like, Chinese food, or for some reason go to, like, a Chinese restaurant, and, like, there's, like, a thing of chopsticks that you can get, I get, like, a whole bunch of them and take them home, so I can, like, practice with them. Hey, I got myself a bunch of, like, instant ramen, so that's what I practice on. And for the most part, I'm actually pretty good. I mean, no, I'm not, like, one of those crazy people that can get, like, one tiny grain of rice with, like, chopsticks, but, I can get, like, a decent size, portion of everything. Honestly, I really like using chopsticks. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun. Once you, like, get the hang of it. I mean, no, I'm no expert, but, yeah, I like using chopsticks. So, anyway, let's see, I got General Tso's chicken with white rice. They split General Tso's chicken with, fried rice. I got myself an egg roll. They got the steamed dumplings, and we both split the wonton soup. I love wonton soup, man. It's like wonton soup is actually something I only just discovered. Well, I didn't just discover it, but I just started trying for the first time a couple months ago. I really like it. I mean, sometimes there's some Chinese places do they mix the egg drop soup with wonton soup. I've tried that before. That's pretty good too. A little bit messy, but still pretty good. If you couldn't tell, I really love Chinese food. I do. Honestly, I pretty much had in a small way, I pretty much had all my favorites with the exception of a couple things. I mean, you can either get I could get an order of General Tso's chicken and an order of pepper steak with onions. But, actually for a long time, I grew up having the pepper steak with onions from the Shanghai Express. But then, when I was in high school, whenever we got Chinese, for whatever reason, we'd find ourselves going to this one place called Dragon Walk in Horseheads. And that was when I was introduced to the chicken. And I've been a fan of the chicken ever since. So, there you go. Plus, one thing I do like to do is, if it's like the pepper steak or the General Tso's, like that sauce that's in, I put that over the white rice. That's good. That's good eating, man. Okay, I'm going to stop now to talk about what I was going to talk about, because I did say I was going to talk about Harry Potter today, and so I'm going to do so. And my act of kindness was because my mom and dad had to go like to Meniere's and do like some bottles and cans and stuff for recycling. So I waited for the food at Shanghai because like they're right next door. So I waited for the food and they got to do their thing, and everything was nice. It was a very nice evening, and so good morning, happy Saturday, everybody. Now I have to talk about the Harry Potter movies because I did say I was going to do that yesterday. I'm here to do that now. And well, that's the problem. I just realized who am I kidding? It doesn't really matter. I forgot to wear my Bears jersey. I mean, I don't really have much to say about the picks. I mean, you guys know what Super Bowl matchups I want to see are at this point. I've only talked about it at least 5 times in the last week. So, yeah, and I'm not going to need to bring that up here. But, anyway, let me talk about Harry Potter, right? I'm getting sidetracked. So, for those of you who don't know, right before day 1000, I actually did reveal my Pottermore.com passport. That video was somewhere. I forget where. But if you need some kind of recap for the major stuff, I am a Gryffindor. My wand, and it took me forever to memorize this, but my wand is a wand of willow wood with a phoenix feather core, 13 inches in length, with slightly yielding flexibility. It took me forever to memorize that, what my wand is. I mean, how can I forget what my wand is? Well, to be honest, the details of like a specific wand are a lot more difficult to remember than what my Patronus is, which is a black stallion, by the way. Yeah, I got a good one. By the way, that's like I see that as like no metaphor or anything. I just think the idea of having a black stallion as a Patronus is really cool. I see that as no metaphor. No. I know some of you dirty people are thinking that, but anyway. Now let's get into talk about Harry Potter. So, what can I say about these movies that hasn't already been said? I mean, if you really want a better in-depth look at the Harry Potter movies, I would say watch the Blockbuster Busters honest review of the Harry Potter movies. You're going to get much more entertainment value and a more detailed example of what he talks about in those movies better than I can. So I guess I could probably start with, the movies themselves. I mean, I'll be honest. You guys know me. I'm not a reader. I've never liked reading. I've never found it entertaining whatsoever. All that. You know that. But you know me. I'm a movie guy. And naturally, when it was revealed that the Harry Potter books were going to be made into a movie franchise, I really thought to myself, okay, this is a fad that's going to be well-liked, but it's probably going to die off. And then I saw the first Harry Potter movie and I'm like, okay, I'm hooked. I want to see what happens next. Not enough to read the books or anything, but okay, I can follow the story pretty well. I can enjoy these characters. And around the time of the second movie, which really stepped up the game, and for a while I would have told you that was my favorite movie, the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Seriously, I really did like that movie. And I still do, but we'll get to my favorite one later. Like, they stepped up their game, and I'm like, I just realized Daniel Radcliffe's voice just got deeper. How many books are there? 7 years? Okay. However way these books are going to end, they're going to end something pretty spectacularly. And you'll see that's one of the inherent charms of these movies, especially when you watch them in chronological order. You literally get to see those actors, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Tom Felton, all those other child actors, Evanna Lynch. Like, you literally get to see them grow up before your very eyes. And it's such a fascinating thing. Like, seriously, nothing like that has really ever been done before. Not to that extent, anyway. And that actually will get into why it's S tier. Well, I'll get into why it's S tier momentarily. In a few minutes, anyway. So, we get to the third movie. That's when things got kind of dark. The fourth movie, okay. Voldemort's back. Ray Fiennes is a great Voldemort, by the way. Yeah, I can say Voldemort now. Nothing's bad going to happen. Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, it was already spoiled that Sirius Black was going to die for me. But I still want to know how it happened. And it happened by, of course, Bellatrix Lestrange, played brilliantly. I'll talk about her in a minute. So, also, I gotta talk about Order of the Phoenix for a second. A lot of people are going to be in agreement with this, so I'll just say it right now. Umbridge. The evil pink lady. That's what I call Umbridge, the evil pink lady. Because she's evil. She wears pink. And she's a lady. There's a more appropriate curse word I could say about her, but I'm not going to say that on camera. But you can probably guess what that is. Now, Half-Blood Prince, I'll be honest, I really liked a lot. I should probably preface this by saying, I really do like all these Harry Potter movies. I really couldn't, there's no way I couldn't possibly not recommend any of them. Watch them. Seriously, there's a reason why Freeform has, at least 2 Harry Potter movie marathons, in the span of 2 months every year or something. You're going to see these Harry Potter movies whether you like it or not. Just embrace it, enjoy the ride. Anyway, so, obviously, yeah, Half-Blood Prince, that's meant to set up the Deathly Hallows. And the Deathly Hallows is something that had never been done before. Well, sort of. I say never been done before. What I mean is the whole concept of one book being broken down into 2 movies. Technically, that had happened before in The Godfather. But Harry Potter was more for my generation. And, obviously both kids and adults could enjoy it. So, naturally, for a movie like this, the stakes were pretty high. And honestly, considering what I know and here's the thing, I had one of my college roommates at the time tell me what happens in the Deathly Hallows. So based on what he told me, it was probably a really good idea that you have the Deathly Hallows in the 2 movies. Because there was no way you're going to fit everything in, in one movie. No way. You can do a 4-hour supercut and it wouldn't do it justice. So, let's get one thing out of the way. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is essentially camping the movie. No, camping and running away the movie. Here's the thing. You can call it that all you want. You're not really going to take away the fact that the stakes have been raised so high, combined with all these brilliant performances in this movie, you really could call it its own thing and no one's going to care. So, yes, in a manner of speaking, it is camping and running away the movie. But it's a darn good movie, so I'm not even going to remotely test that. Although, if you want to say that's your least favorite, I'm not going to stop you either. Not that I'm going to yuck on your yum, okay? So, now we get into Deathly Hallows Part 2. My favorite Harry Potter movie, obviously. Now, you guys know, I've talked about this guy before, but one guy watches a Chris Stuckman. And he actually did, like, a series on the Harry Potter movies. Like, he did the video per movie. And he literally, now keep in mind, I always thought this myself, but the fact that this guy, a guy on the internet who doesn't know me, and I don't really know much about him, that I watch, and he's saying the following, that gives me some validation. And he said, this isn't verbatim, but bear with me. They actually did what was believed to be impossible. They made the last movie the best one. So think about that. And if I'm talking about Deathly Hallows Part 2, I gotta tell you right now, the funniest scene, literally in the entire series, happens in that movie. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll set the scene. Basically, it's after Voldemort, assumedly, kills Harry Potter, right? He goes back to Hogwarts with all the Death Eaters. Hagrid's carrying Harry Potter in his arms. Everyone's sad. And Voldemort's like, Harry Potter is dead! And, he's like trying to get everyone to recruit him. Neville Longbottom shows up. And Voldemort's like, well, Neville, I think we'll find a place for you in our ranks. And then Voldemort's keep talking. And then Neville's like, I have something to say. Voldemort's reaction is the funniest thing you will ever see. He's like, he's saying, how dare you interrupt my moment of triumph? I should kill you right now. But I just killed Harry Potter, therefore I am in a good mood, so I'll hear this guy out. It took all I had for me not to laugh. I knew how serious of a scene this was supposed to be, for sure. And speaking of serious scenes, there's one scene I'll definitely talk about in a minute. But, yeah, funniest scene in all the Harry Potter movies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, now you know. So there you go. But speaking of scenes involving these movies. Now, one person I also watch is Dominic Noble. He does a series called Lost in Adaptation where he talks about, the books and the movie adaptations, based on it, right? And he's talking about the Harry Potter movies because, Harry Potter is actually one of his all-time favorite series. So, of course, he would try and talk about it while also being objective, right? Now, keep in mind, I didn't really understand the significance of the scene until he described it as such. And that's obviously the legendary scene involving the late, great Alan Rickman, in which it's you see, Snape's flashback, and naturally, it's the always scene. It's always like that scene, right? And I remember Dominic Noble absolutely hating that moment. And I could see why the way he described it, because if you know nothing about Severus Snape in the Harry Potter movies before that always moment, then you know that Snape treated Harry Potter like utter garbage. Flat out mentally breaking him, all that stuff. Literally calling his father a swine to his face. You name it, Snape pretty much did it to Harry. And you're immediately supposed to forgive this guy because of always. Like, don't misunderstand me. I don't really agree with what Dominic Noble said either. But I definitely see where he's coming from. And it's true. You can't really be expected to forgive a character that you've been reading about for years and years and years that's actually done some pretty despicable things. Obviously, one of which is killing Dumbledore. Oh, please. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that by this point. And expect to forgive him because of always. I actually do that pretty well, don't I? Anyway, the point is, it doesn't really bother me, but I wanted to point that out, that is something that you really do gotta consider. Especially when, normally I'm the kind of guy who really does seek justice if anything's done badly or wrong. But again, I can sort of see both sides of the argument. Now that I've finished talking about all that, before I finish up, I gotta give one major shout out to the cast of these Harry Potter movies. The Blockbuster Buster said himself that these movies have the greatest supporting cast ever. And I have to agree. Seriously, I really could make like a video just talking about every single great cast member of these movies. And it would be like 3 hours long probably. So I'll just end that by saying of all the actors in these movies, and there's a lot of them, like Bill Nye, Robbie Coltrane, Gary Oldman, all those guys. There's 3 actors that definitely need to be shown some love. Obviously, one I just touched upon, Alan Rickman, the one who J.K. Rowling, the creator of Harry Potter, handpicked to be Snape. What can I say? He did it brilliantly. The second, I gotta go Maggie Smith, man. I mean, Maggie Smith, one of the greatest actors of all time, playing essentially Harry's pseudo-mother figure. That's like chef's kiss brilliant choice right there. I'm not even kidding. It's that good. And she fought cancer. She battled cancer and won while making these movies. Like, what can I say, man? Maggie Smith is the GOAT. She is. Although I would like to petition a statue being made of Maggie Smith as McGonagall, and underneath the statue it says Prepta Immotum, like that one spell that she's always wanted. She's like, I always wanted to say that spell. Like that spell should be said like underneath the thing. I'm just saying. Now, and finally, the actors who played Dumbledore. Now, for those of you who don't know, originally, Dumbledore was played by Richard Harris. Very well, I might add. But sadly, he passed away during the production of the third film, and so he was replaced by Michael Gambon. Now, I love both actors, and Richard Harris is one of the greatest actors to have ever walked the face of the earth. And he definitely played like the whole childlike whimsy that Dumbledore had brilliantly. Like, if only movies like these could be nominated for Oscars, he would have nominated for sure. But I gotta go with what the Blockbuster Buster said and say that when it comes to both the childlike whimsy and like the serious natures that Dumbledore had, Michael Gambon was just better. And don't get me wrong, it didn't make Dumbledore's death scene any less, sad. Either actor would have done that scene brilliantly. So, there you go. And finally, I gotta talk about the Golden Trio. What can I say? There's a reason why they're the Golden Trio. You literally saw Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and Daniel Radcliffe as Hermione, Ron, and Harry respectively grow up before your very eyes, giving better performances each and every step of the way. And keep in mind, they started off as child actors in these movies. And you know how annoying child actors can be. And for child actors, they were pretty solid. I mean, let's be honest. No child actor is ever going to be the greatest of all time. I mean, once in a generation, you're going to get something like a Haley Joel Osment. But for the most part, finding decent child actors is hard to do. Although speaking of Haley Joel Osment, believe it or not, originally Disney actually wanted to animate these movies, and Haley Joel Osment was going to voice Harry Potter. And Steven Spielberg was going to direct. I'm actually kind of glad we got what we got. But, man, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, go watch these movies. They're fun. They're exciting. There are so many things I really could touch upon more, but I'm actually kind of running late for something, so I should probably wrap this up. But yes, Harry Potter, Go watch it if you haven't seen it already. I highly recommend it. You know, if you're a book nerd, unlike me, you're going to find these movies to your liking. You know, just do it. But there you go. Although, with that being said, I can answer one other thing about my Pottermore, and I did touch upon this once already. Like, that one, like, select item you're supposed to have, I picked the Deathly Hallows. Because that's 3 items in one. So, I get 3 items for the price of 1, Grandma. Can't beat that with a wooden stick. Or perhaps a willow wood wand with a phoenix feather core, 13 inches in length, with slightly yielding flexibility. But that's just me. Like, favorite, chat, subscribe, and follow me on YouTube. I'm very long this video for all you guys who watch the show for today. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Remember, the entire channel is here to lend us our back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.